I'd like to present Andrea Cohen, who is the Senior Marketing Manager at Hubspot Canada, and she also is a specialist in leveraging AI and data to optimize marketing funnels. But more importantly, she used to work at Evolving Web, and she was my mentor and taught me a lot of things and set up a lot of our HubSpot workflows and pipelines that we're still using today. So her legacy lives on, and we're thrilled to have her back to present for us.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't have an in-person presentation while 8 months pregnant in my bingo card this year. So I'm going to try my best to catch my breath. But I'm really excited to be here. It's kind of a full circle moment for me since I worked at Evolving Web before. And, I'm here to talk about marketing and demand generation and how it's changing and it's evolving. It's the new era of demand. That's how we call it at HubSpot. All right, so just quickly about me. I'm Andrea Cohen. I'm Senior Marketing Manager at HubSpot. I mainly take care of all of the demand generation for HubSpot in Canada. I work with specialized teams inside the marketing team. So think SEO, social media, brand, PR. And I also work cross-functionally with sales and CS. A few of my colleagues are here. It's really about generating that quality demand for Canada. So, as a marketer, you've probably seen the change of landscape with AI, and everyone's talking about AI and the disruption. But it's really a slow but rapid revolution, I would say, more than an evolution. So I'll cover today why the traditional inbound playbook is kind of losing its edge. And then we'll explore a little bit of really practical quick wins that you can implement right away. So, by show of hands, does everybody know and is aware of what the inbound playbook is? Okay. All right. So, inbound playbook or inbound marketing or the inbound methodology is a traditionally what has made digital marketers successful until now. It's basically you publish good content, it's online, your users find it, you generate traffic to your website, you convert them, you nurture them, hopefully they become customers, and then you delight them with more content, more value. All right. Well, it's a little bit uncomfortable, it's an uncomfortable truth, but that's not really working anymore. It's kind of losing its edge. And, as marketers, that's what has made us successful up until now. And, that's mainly due because of AI. AI is really impacting how marketers are doing their job. And thankfully, within HubSpot, we've been doing a lot of research internally and with our customers and our partners. And we have developed a new completely game plan. But let's understand exactly what is shifting in the market for marketers. There are three key changes. First, search traffic is down. 60% of your traditional searches, they don't even progress to your website, right? Like users are finding their information on Google, they're not clicking through, and then now you have the chat GPTs, and maybe you have Gemini or other LLMs, and users are finding their answers directly on those platforms. Second, trust is becoming human again. So because there's so much AI content, it's generic, people are losing trust in the brands, and they want to gain that trust again through human interactions. So influencer marketing, all of the forums, so think of the Reddits, the Quoras, are you community managers that are managing communities on social platforms, they're expected to grow. And just influencer marketing, we're looking at a 34% growth in marketing spent this year alone. Third, buyers are arriving to your website even more educated and ready than before. What does that mean? Is that they're finding their answers outside your website. They're looking at ChatGPT and they're finding answers to their questions and the content directly in those platforms. And by the time they arrive at your website, they're already educated. Our CEO said it best. Speed is a non-negotiable right now. The pace of AI demands agility. What does this mean? It means that we need a mindset shift from a marketer standpoint. You need to change the way you think about campaigns, the way we think about approaching demand, and the way we utilize AI for our best approach. All right. So how do we adapt then? Where do we start? Like I said, we need a mindset shift. At Hubspot, we've done that exercise already. Our marketing team has adopted 3 principles that are shaping the way we create campaigns for demand. The first one, we need to meet buyers at all points. What does this mean? I just mentioned earlier, buyers are evaluating their research and your services and your products before they even reach your website. So you need to be where they are. They're also increasingly turning into content platforms like videos on YouTube, and forums like Reddit, Quora, to inform their decisions. And then finally, we need to influence where they're at, like I mentioned. So you need to be in those platforms. YouTube, Reddit, we need to be there and adapt our content there. Second, mindset shift. All right. Experimentation over perfection. So the balance between excellent execution and agility is shifting. Right now, I'm hearing a lot of customers. I speak to a lot of customers actually on the daily, and they're all saying, nothing's working. Email performance is down 20% year over year. Google AI is answering my questions, and my traffic is not reaching my website. LinkedIn is charging more for less reach. People aren't, following through or clicking through, and the cost of acquisition is rising and rising and rising and rising. Well, with AI, this is where agility wins. We need to pivot quickly. We need to look at the data more specifically on a daily basis. Those copy and repeat campaigns are no longer working. So that agility mindset, this is what it means. All right. Taste and trust matters more than ever. There's so much content, right? And so much of it, if it's AI generated, it's not, and if it's AI generated completely, it's not performing well. And it's just losing its genuinity. It's losing its edge, right? So when we say content volume is dead and authenticity is the new currency, what we mean is that we need to create content that is valuable. We need to create content that is pertaining to your audience and your niche. You need to have a strong point of view. And it needs to have that aspect of community building. We'll talk a little bit about it. All right, well, that was a lot of dramatic intro. But there is good news. We've been testing a lot in the last year and a half internally at Hubspot, our own personal go-to-market strategies, and we've been collaborating a lot with our clients and customers on how to guide them through that. And we have 5 plays that are easy and practical to implement. All right, so I'll walk you through a little bit what they are. Let's dive in. All right, play number 1. Bring your data to life. So what does this mean? This is more, again, of a mindset shift, but it's easily implemented. So you're shifting from asking, will this work? Will this campaign work? Will this strategy work? To, is this actually working? Right? It's in the moment. It's in the now. You have shorter testing cycles in your campaign. So if you're used to, putting in place a campaign, you wait 6 months for results, that's too long. Because by the time AI plays into it, you've lost your traffic. So you need to be agile and quick. Shorter testing cycles. Rapid iterations based on real-time data. You have a CRM, you're looking at your SEO traffic, you have the data, adapt quickly. This one, the third one, was really hard for me to implement, but willingness to kill campaigns. If you're a marketer, or even just, you're a communication expert, you're PR, your campaigns are your babies, you plan them, you strategize them, and you launch them, and they're not working. But the fact that you're not killing them is costing you more than adapting them, or just scrapping them and start over. So willingness to kill your campaigns, and then continuous optimization. Like I said, you have real-time data, you continue to grow, continue to change, rather than set and forget approach. All right, play number 2, win AI search. All right, are any SEO experts in the room? Okay, disclaimer, I'm not an SEO expert or technical SEO expert. I work with the SEO team at Hubspot. We optimize all our campaigns, and this is what's been working in our campaigns for demand generation. All right? It's time to rethink your SEO strategy. So what does this mean? SEO with AI is no longer about ranking, it's about recommendations and reference, right? So that means showing up where people are pulling AI information. Your ChatGPT is referencing information that is not necessarily in your website. It's referencing information on third-party websites. It's recommending information based on human recommendations. It's recommending information from YouTube. It's no longer your own content in your website. All right. So, what content works then for AI search? You still need a structure in your page, right? Proper, clear headings, bullets, tables. I've recently did a big test on a campaign where in the landing page we included, on multiple landing pages, we included FAQ sections. That has been ranking really well on LLMs. Your perspective, original insights, if you run surveys, if you publish data, if you have thought leadership pieces, your first party data and strong point of view is working really well. Specificity, so target your own personas, your niche industry, and then your pain points, your audience's pain points. And then third-party mentions, I've said it before, the Quoras, the Reddits, reviews, roundups. Also, we've also done the test with customer proof and case studies. That's also part of it. That's play number 2. Yeah. Play number 3. All right, double down on video. I feel like everyone's talking about this, right? Video is really no longer optional. It's the only format that's winning on social right now. And any other platforms, actually. All the LLMs are referencing videos as well. So, and video doesn't have to be this complicated thing. And you don't even need a video team, really. Let me give you an example. When I host a webinar, I record the webinar, of course, download the transcript, put it into Claude. I prompt Claude to give me the best snippets of the webinar. Claude gives me like the timing. I go back into my video clip editor. I find it. I pull out the clips. We publish. Right? So it's not. I don't need a video team. Of course, I pass it through brand, by the way, but I get that approved. But it doesn't have to be that complicated thing. And then experiment with podcasts as well. Same logic. It's the video, record your podcast. And then added plus bonus, if you publish it on YouTube, it helps with your referencing on the LLMs. Okay, play number 4. Double down on personalization. Okay, so this one was easier for me to show an example rather than talk through it. But when we really mean hyper-personalization, we really mean hyper-personalization. So this is an example right here on your screen of an email that prospects receive at HubSpot after they fill out a form for the first time. And for something like a long piece content type, right? So an ebook, they will receive one of these emails, all right? This is what we call first conversion nurturing. Whatever the persona is targeting, so a person who's interested in marketing will receive version number 1. A person in sales will receive version number 2, and and so on. The goal of this is to further nurture the prospect, give more value throughout the nurturing. Then hopefully, after adding value to this, the prospect will create a free HubSpot Academy account, right? So like the goal is to sign up. All right, we've been doing this for years. HubSpot has been doing this exact methodology. This is a real example for years. We've optimized it. I mean, I saw the documentation of optimization for years. It's reached a saturation where we can't optimize anymore. This email. Now you'll see with AI. So, what happens now with AI is that our personalization capabilities have gone through the roof. The prospect can now receive specific content according to their intent, all right, and according to the questions and answers that they're looking for. And this is based on data that we have in our CRM. They filled out a form, we have data there. They visit pages, we have data there. They are doing research keywords, we have data because we're tracking that, right? So we're able to personalize the content that we suggest in the follow-up emails based on all of that data in our CRM. And thanks to this hyper-personalization, we have a 75% increase in conversion rates through our HubSpot Academy. Sounds like magic, right? All right, so you can do this with emails, but I've also tested this with our web experience on our case study page, for example. We have a case study directory. We've tailored the type of case studies that we bring up on our website depending on who the user is. You can do this also in landing pages for better conversions. Okay, final play. Add more conversation points. All right, so I guess this is AI and chat bots are hand in hand, right? Because your users, or actually it's a non-negotiable now because your volume of users has decreased so much and the quality has increased. That means they're ready to purchase when they attend or when they visit your website, right? So the more conversion points you have, the easier you make it for the buyer to convert, the better it is. And chatbots are one way to do that. So not only is the chatbot providing answers to queries, so a user can, type a question on the chatbot, it's also qualifying the leads, it's generating pipeline for the sales team, and it's doing all of that automatically. So by the time they speak to somebody in sales, they're more informed, your sales team is also more informed, and everybody has a data and visibility on that journey. And they have their answers instantly, so they don't need to make an appointment with a sales rep because the answer is already there. All right, this was quick and I had to cut down a lot of slides, so I made it quick and easy. Final takeaways. So, top of funnel is more complex and volatile than ever, right? Too much content. There's not enough traffic to your website anymore. Expect that low raw volume, but higher qualified volume of traffic. Middle and bottom of the funnel, again, fewer eyeballs, but with higher intent to purchase or convert. When I say buyer, it could be if you work at a university and you're targeting students, it could be about student enrollment, right? It depends on what your ICP is. You have to meet the visitors with deep data-driven personalization. I mentioned that earlier. And then authenticity and volume. People are looking for human connections. They want authentic content. AI is a great tool to start a version of your content, but have human review it and create it and finalize and cater it. And then storytelling is also really important in your content, because you have to tell your story from a brand perspective. Like I mentioned, everybody can generate a top 10 type of content and blog post. If it's not genuine to your brand, if it's not targeting the right audience, if you're not giving your point of view as a brand, if it's not referencing other website, it will not show up in the AI search. All right, that's it. Thank you so much.
We have a bit of time for questions.
Yeah. Yes.
You mentioned that there would be less top of funnel, more activity in MOFU, let's say, right?
Middle, bottom, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And one thing that is really important for A/B testing, like at least on the web platform, is this analytics to see what works better, what works worse. With so much less signal coming in now, because a lot of this stuff is happening in Gemini, and there's no necessarily even a link to your site. How do you make up for that? How do you tell if what you're doing is working?
Well, you have less traffic, but the traffic that gets to your website is quality traffic. So they're ready, they're informed and educated before they arrive at your website. So if they're not converting, there might be something on your web experience, or something that's blocking that conversion. Because if they're there, they're ready. The hypothesis is that they're ready to purchase, right? So if they're not converted, there's something wrong with the experience, or maybe the content that you're showing them, the personalization on the page.
For sure, I mean, there's still the end result, and you're saying that, when you send an email, you still have analytics about opens and clicks through.
Yeah.
So is there any analytics for the AI world? When I make a social post on LinkedIn, like we work together, I see all the views and the clicks.
Yeah.
Anything like that for the AI world for now?
Well, if you have a CRM, you know the journey of the user, right? If you are tracking SEO, you know the source of where they're coming from. So, and if you're generating that demand through specific campaigns, you're probably putting in place different metrics and tools to track that campaign performance. So you have different, and it's just a matter of identifying which one works for your own specific use case. At HubSpot, we have HubSpot to track, right? But we also use Google search, or we're looking at some other tools, but internally we have HubSpot to track everything internally. So we can see the journey of the user from search, keywords, all the way down to conversions. So the CRM information is important too. Any other question?
Will we be sent your presentation?
Yes, right?
If you're okay with it, yeah. You'll get a follow-up email with a PDF of the slides and most of the
Yes.
I think maybe
Yeah.
on the AI-driven queries and the ability to measure or track, like you talked about, like less traffic, and it's true. Like even in our startup, like we saw the traffic to our partner client websites is going very down, but the quality of the traffic is better. It's true, and it resonates with us. But is there a way to know how many mentions, or like with all those AI tools, to be able to get any type maybe of different metrics, or some kind of measurement to see how do we appear, or how do we actually measure the usage of those AI tools and our mentions?
Yeah, HubSpot has actually an AI search grader that you can use to evaluate that. So it tells you how you're performing, because it's mainly measuring the earned traffic, right? The earned referencing. So HubSpot has a great tool to do that. And then on our side, we also measure the source that gives us an idea. But it's a bit difficult to measure because it's not yet connected to your CRM, right? And it's changing and it's evolving. So I would start with that AI grader or a similar tool. I'm sure other brands are doing that, and you'll see where your website is grading.
But
Yes.
But do you see like an evolution from a technology standpoint? I don't mean to like, where is HubSpot going to be in like
Yes.
3 years? But I'm sure like smarter people than me and many other are working into like how to measure that mentioned, or is there any like trend regarding like opening that, or do you see something happening
Yeah.
in the market in that regard?
Yeah, it's changing a lot. Yes, there are talks. We do talk with Anthropic and OpenAI and things like that. We just announced actually an integration with ChatGPT into our CRM. It's not perfect, but it's great. Joey, you want to say something? And Claude, yes, and Claude. There's also talks about launching paid or, paid inside these LLMs. I predict it's going to be in the next 6 months, to be honest. So whatever you're doing in Google, you'll be able to do that in the LLMs. So it's in, we don't own the technology, but I know there's talks about that. Yeah. Yes.
Just quickly, so I work at Concordia University, and Ipsos has a tool called Synthesio, and it crawls the internet for mentions of what you're looking for. So I don't use it for that, but I can easily get a dashboard of what our reputation is. So I could see us using it that way, looking for keywords and mentions and those kinds of things, and seeing what AI thinks for how we're doing. That's how.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other tools exactly like that. Yeah.
That's tech.
Yes.
Have you been relying more on your account executives' personal brands versus the corporate brand?
Sorry, can you?
Have you been relying more on the account executives, like your sales teams' personal brands, rather than the corporate brands?
Yes, 100%. Our social media presence or personal brand development of especially our executive leadership is top of mind because of that human trust aspect. Whenever we do a campaign, we definitely talk with the sales team, and Joey is part of the sales team. We definitely collaborate with sales to make sure that we amplify that message on a human level. So personal branding is still super important online. Maybe the format might change, right? Like it went from like, I don't know, a carousel, a picture, to now is like a video message or just plain text, but really that personal brand is still very important.
I think we're at time.
Oh, okay.
So we'll say thank you.